you very much, Payal.
Thank you,
Thank you, Payal, Mukul, Ginuji, Agni and friends. See, it's a wonderful book. I mean, in fact, whenever you are invited to launch a book, you have to say it is wonderful. Apart from that, the fact is that when Mukul gave this book to me way back in November for inclusion in the Wow Festival, I read extracts of it, I read bits and pieces of it, and I found that it's fascinating. It's a good read. Now, all books which are fiction, a fiction has to have a plot. It has to have a timeline. It has to have good language. It has to have a little bit of mystery. It has to have a little bit of romance. It has to have a little bit of catharsis. It has to have a little bit of pain. So he has very cleverly, very intelligently got all these things together in his remarkable book. And I will not going to tell you the storyline because then you will not buy the book. If you do not buy this book, he will not invite me to his next launch function. If he doesn't invite me to his next launch function, I don't get the opportunity to be with such pleasant ladies around. I have already suggested to him the title of his next book. This one is Seduction by Truth. The next one will be Seduction by Deceit.
And as I propose, you might be the protagonist.
And she says that I will be the protagonist of that. Anyway, friends, I think the book has to be read at 2 or 3 levels. There is, of course, everything about fiction. There's love, there's longing, there's desire, there is social norms, there's marriage, there is sex, there is love, and there is also something like a black hole. The black hole which is always there in the back of your mind, because when we live in a society, when we live by the mores of society, whatever liberation you might think you have, at the end of it, the socialization, the way in which you've been brought up, the way in which your parents have brought you up, has a deep impact on your life, on the way you look at things. In this particular book, the protagonist, and look at the remarkable thing about this book is that it's a very secular book. In the sense that he has love affairs, he seduces everybody. He starts with seducing a very nice, voluptuous Punjabi, Sana. Then he moves on to wooing Zeba, who's a Muslim. And then he goes on to Virgin Mary, who's still a virgin. And he sort of, the story moves on. So, across religions, across cultures, across continents. So this man is remarkable because the range of his seduction is not limited to Calcutta or Delhi. And in fact, the remarkable thing about Mukul is that he is even gone where the Indian Railways does not go. One would have thought that because he has a free railway pass, he go around, spreading his word, and spreading his books, and spreading his literature, maybe up to Dibrugarh, or maybe up to, now that we have a rail line up to Katra in that place, or, wherever you got a free pass. But, his imagination far exceeds that of the Indian nation. He goes on to Azerbaijan, to Baku, and all those places. And then, of course, it has to go to Rome because Rome was not built in a day, and of course he believes in not one but many Roman holidays. So friends, let me just also tell you that on a serious note, those of you who want to impress, because after all, why do we read books? We read books for many reasons. There are people like me who enjoy reading books, but also people like me enjoy quoting books, quoting from books, and giving the impression that we are well read. Now, that's one of the reasons why at least I read books, because it's a nice feeling to say that you know about this and you know about that. So I can give you some little tips about this book. So if you read page 7, I'll give you some page numbers, so that will be the easy guide. In fact, you can do a easy reading for you. If you go to page 7, you get something about the relationship between karma, dharma, kam, and all the 5, the 5 principles of life. Then you go on to discussing the myths, and she's already told about one myth, but the myth of Ahilya is there. Then you have the story of Brahaspati. Then you can get into a sophist discourse if you go to page 62. This is all to tell you that I've read your book. On page 85, he says that you cannot start a business in this country unless you know somebody in the IPS. Yeah, remarkable.
Why IPS?
Because he says that your property can be captured by anyone. So you must cultivate a friend in the IPS. He has missed out the railways, missed out the IAS, missed out the income tax and all these other services. So that also shows us, that the dhanda, if you don't have the dhanda, things don't work in our country. It's a very pleasantly rooted thing, that in order to set up a business, you need to have some contacts. I think IPS, West Bengal Police Service, any SHO would do. But you need somebody with a dhanda in the hand. He is a very interesting debate between who was more effective, Gandhi or Krishna. And that's a remarkable thing because he feels that, Krishna and Gandhi were both at one level. They were preaching a lot of things, doing a lot of things, but he says that while Krishna was always justifying violence and he accepted that violence as a way of life, in his view, Mahatma Gandhi did not accept violence as a way of life and still was able to achieve anything. So I think that comparison between Mahatma Gandhi and Lord Krishna is a remarkable insight and something which it's a story. It's not just the story of this very handsome young man gallivanting around the world, but it's also a story which can actually get you to think if we want to think. There is a very remarkable point which Zeba makes. She says that between peace and justice, I'll choose peace, and that's what happens to a lot of us. Rather than pursue justice, we often settle for peace, and that's perhaps a very practical way of moving on in life. So I think this realization, this understanding, the linking of in Taj Mahal, there's also a little monument to the first wife, which is forgotten, and he brings out those little known anecdotes from history, which is really remarkable. Discussion on polygamy, discussion on so many things. So without disclosing too much, and I must leave some points for Minuji and Agnimitra also, so I'll close. I'll say the book is wonderful, must read it, and congratulations, very well done.
Thank you.